My name is Calley O'Neill, and I am a conservation artist and muralist from the Big Island of Hawaii. I got very interested in public art a long time ago when I first heard of the Mexican Mural Masters, and I became dedicated to public art for everyone at no cost. And that's been my passion ever since, to have art that's for everyone. I moved happily to Hawaii from Vermont in 1980, and I immediately became involved in the culture. I read a book called Native Hawaiian Planters, which described how extraordinarily ecological the Hawaiian culture is and how sophisticated it is. Even though they didn't have gold or silver or turquoise or stones, this was a really high level of civilization. They lived in aloha and peace and harmony, and they took care of the land and the ocean resources in really extraordinarily impeccable ways. And I had been involved in endangered species and not too thrilled with that we had endangered species or ecological problems. And so to me, it was such a great relief to meet a culture, an indigenous culture that was so connected to the earth that I could really respect and learn and grow from. And I became committed to being, one of the hands of skill for the Hawaiian people, for the Hawaiian struggle, and for the culture. I'd always painted on Gatorfoam, doing these cultural works. I did a lot of goddess works, and I do love that. I mean, I've learned that, and when an artist is doing easel paintings, when I was doing that a lot, and I still do that as much as I can, I'm painting all the time. And in bigger projects, more public projects like the murals, there's a whole lot more involved. There's a whole lot of research and interviews and writing. I love them both, and I think actually I've never thought about that before, that it's good for me to have a balance of both. I mean, I'll use Gatorfoam for anything all the time whenever I can. So for painting, all I need to do with Gatorfoam, because it's already that perfect white surface, it's actually quite a lot like painting on marble. It's got the absorbency. All I do with Gatorfoam is I take a piece of 400 sandpaper, and just with my hand, I just break the surface up just a little bit. That's it. It's like having primed it 10 times with sandy in between, and it's done. For the mural, we actually use the Gatorfoam in a sandwich with weedy construction panels. And we cut out the puzzle pieces, like the whole mural is a giant puzzle. And we cut that out, and then we build the whole project. I adhere the whole design, it's called a full-scale cartoon, to the Gatorfoam, half-inch Gatorfoam. And then we work on that. We build the whole mural on top of that. And then it also serves as shipping protection and the placeholder installation mural. So the whole puzzle goes up in Gatorfoam at first, which is lightweight. There's just no harm you can do to it. It's super easy to put on. It's just a little bit of mastic, and the whole mural goes up in white Gatorfoam. So the whole drawing goes on the wall, and then it's just one piece at a time. So the really heavy, breakable mural pieces with all the glass and all the concrete, we take off one piece of Gatorfoam, the puzzle, and we put one piece of the actual art on. It's been fabulous. So it has multiple roles. I use Polytech. I always use Polytech. It is the paint of the Mexican Mural Masters. Few people know that the first acrylic ever developed, certainly for artists, and might be the first one in the world, I'm not sure, was developed in Mexico for the Mexican Mural Masters, because they had tremendous passion for their work. They weren't doing like old academy staid kind of museum work. They had passion. They were making statements about equality and the people and the land and the waters and all of that. So they wanted an acrylic. I'm not sure they knew what they wanted, but they wanted something fast. So in the Polytechnical Institute, they developed this long chain polymer in pure mineral acrylics. So that's what I use, just Gator foam, slightly sanded, and then one at a time, like a very labor intensive, thin glazes, veils of color, which usually start with an umber brown or, usually umber brown. So it's like the old masters painted. I'm very kind of labor-intensive artist. I sometimes wish I were otherwise, but that's just the way it is right now. The material is perfect. I've never had a challenge with the material. It's an extraordinary art material. I've shared it with many artists. I have never met anyone else that uses it the way I use it, and in so many ways. And I've used it also in standing murals. I did a mural for the Pineapple Playhouse where I used 3/4 inch Gator foam. Beautiful life-size figures, or maybe larger than life-size figures of monarchy period Hawaiian royalty going out to the theater. And so I built out this whole, old theater in Honolulu in relief, and then I put the people in front of it. So in that, I work with the edges of the Gator foam. I actually put thin koa wood veneer around it. It was just gorgeous. So it's super strong. It's just that the edges, when I do the cutouts and not frame them, I found very special way to work with the edges. And even that wasn't a problem. It just called upon more creativity. I might put glue and sand, on the edges, or even just spackle on the edges. And sometimes I frame them. So no, the material is amazing. I have used the black, but only in minor instances. I've used the 1/8 inch, I've used the 1/8 inch, the 1/4 inch, the 1/2 inch, and the 3/4 inch. And, the 1/2 inch is really rigid enough without, having to frame something that's 3/4. I don't really have to look for any more qualities anymore. I just use Gator foam.